Hi everyone, it's Diane with Batik, and today is Fabric Friday. Today I'm really excited to talk to you about our Batik Canvas and several projects that I've added to the website. These happen to be all ByAnnie pattern projects. And we've added the patterns, we've added all of the kits for each one of these projects. And it should be kind of fun. They are super fun to make. Some are simple, some have a little bit more complexity to them. But when it comes to these ByAnnie pattern projects, let me tell you, they are wonderful to follow. They have been amazingly tested, and they're fun to work on. To be honest, they're just so fun to work on. So I really want to thank you for joining me today as well. It has been kind of a crazy week. We have been pushing so hard to get caught up on all of our back orders and pre-orders and everything that has been sitting out there after receiving our shipment of canvas and linen and the 115-inch wide cotton. It's been really crazy, and my goal was to get through at least 2 custom pre-quilted projects a day, get those out and get all caught up. We're getting close. We're getting very close. But summer is really hard because it's so beautiful out there, and I'm not trying to make excuses. It's so beautiful out there, and it's just, at least I've been getting home for an hour to weed the garden and just get some fresh air. So it has just been a crazy week. The one thing about, I will tell you this too, the one thing about these pre-quilted projects, custom projects that you guys have ordered, almost every one of them was for our canvas as the main fabric, soft and stable as your batting, and cotton as the lining. And so what we've realized here is that so many of you are truly bag makers. You are creators of whether it be a tote bag or a purse or a backpack or a duffel bag, whatever it happens to be. It is amazing how many of you have really enjoyed sewing these projects. And I don't know if they're ByAnnie patterns that you're working with, or Noodlehead, or So Sweetness, or whatever they happen to be. But I think you have picked out amazing color combinations of our canvas and our cotton, and it's been fun to quilt them with the various edge-to-edge designs that we have on our website. So thank you for that. But it just kind of got me thinking a lot about all of these projects that do require pre-quilted fabric. And I'm actually going to share with you a couple today that aren't pre-quilted. So for those of you who don't want to quilt anything, you're going to enjoy this as well. So let's get started. What I want to talk about, what I also want to talk about too is a little bit about our canvas. Our canvas that we have in stock right now is, and it's our first production of canvas, is a canvas that weighs about 5.4 ounces. So it is a light to midweight canvas. You can make bags with it, like you'll see here. You can make clothing. I am going to make bib overalls out of the canvas. So it is heavier than cotton, but it is lighter than a really stiff canvas, which is probably what you're thinking when you think of the word canvas. We all have different experiences when we think of the word canvas. So I have in my hands here a little demo to show you the difference. This is a market bag, and I have a pattern on our website that's a free PDF pattern for a market bag. And this is the canvas that we have in stock right now. This is the Phoenix Twilight Blue plus the hand-dyed Twilight Blue as a coordinate. And I do have a stabilizer in the base of this bag. So if I were to hold this out, it's not very heavy. And if you drop the handles to this particular bag, it kind of folds in on itself. So it is a great bag for carrying in your car, folds up nicely. Use it for grocery shopping or whatever shopping it happens to be. But this is kind of the stability and weight of this canvas, okay? We are also producing a heavier weight canvas as well. We've been testing out many different weights just to kind of see how stiff we want to make our canvas as a heavier weighted canvas, because we heard from you that several of you would like something a little bit heavier. We tested a 10 ounce, which would be twice as heavy as that. We decided against the 10 ounce simply because it was so stiff. It was almost like cardboard. And I just didn't want to stress out everybody's sewing machines. And so we just kind of said, let's wait on that one and figure out what we want to do with that, because we want our canvas or any one of our products to be able to work with anything that you want to do with them. And so for now, we kind of put that one aside. But we did go and decide on the 8 ounce. So it's 8.2 ounces for our second production, or another category, I should say, of our canvas. And so it's a heavier canvas. And I made another market bag to show you what this one looks like when you drop it. So this is the only way I can kind of show you the weight of the canvas. So if I drop the handles on this one and hold this the right way, it doesn't really buckle on itself. So it's that much heavier, okay? So even though 5.2 versus 8.2, maybe it doesn't seem like it's that much heavier, but it really is. And so I think it will make a big difference in what we can do with them, and actually add a little bit to whether or not you even need to quilt something when you're making, say, an ultimate travel bag by Annie or something like that. Do you really need to quilt it? But it'll be fun to play with once we get it in-house. And hopefully that will be this fall. It is in production right now, and it just takes time to make all the yardage. So I'm excited about that. So keep a watch for that. Now, let's talk about these patterns. The first one I want to share with you is, actually I'm going to jump over to this one. It's sitting in front of me here. This is Snapshot, okay? And Snapshot is a pattern, it's a purse pattern that comes in 2 different sizes. Here is the small, and here is the larger bag, okay? And this is a bag. I'm going to show you the smaller one because it's a little easier to hold. But this bag is not quilted. The fabric on here is not quilted at all. And it has a zipper opening at the top. It opens so that it will expand if you have a larger item to put in your bag. The zipper opens, and inside, I don't know if you can see in there, it's really hard. I'll probably have to put up additional photographs, but there are pockets that are finished with fold over elastic, so they will pull out, okay? They will expand and contract. And one side that does not have pockets. So one side has pockets, the other does not. And the back has a really fun pocket for things that you want to keep close to yourself. So you can put your phone in here, your car keys in here, whatever that happens to be. So we have 2 zipper compartments. And then we also have our hardware. These are D-rings with our shoulder strap that is removable, okay? Very, very simple. So if you are new to bag making, this would be a really, really great option simply because you don't have to quilt the fabric. This has soft and stable inside, so it's giving you that structure. It has education on how to learn how to sew in a zipper, how to sew on reinforcement strips, okay? And how to sew pockets with that fold over elastic. So this is a great introductory purse pattern. And again, the small bag, actually I shouldn't say again, I never said what this was. The small bag is 6.5 to 8.5, it's 6.5 inches tall, and it expands up to 10, okay? And it is 11.5 inches wide. So it's a really decent size. This would be a wonderful crossbody bag. The larger bag, which has all of the same features, is 8.5 inches tall, and it expands up to about 13 inches. And then this one, I keep referencing because I never want this to be wrong, is 14 inches wide, okay? So they really can be used either as a clutch or as a purse with a shoulder strap. I just think these are just the cutest bags. And just for reference as well, this is our canvas. Again, these are all, everything I'm going to show you today is made with our canvas as the main fabric and then the cotton as a lining. So this is the Medora Flora Copen is the colorway, and all the notions for this is the antique brass hardware, and the zippers are all in navy, and all of this is ByAnnie, okay? This is the Phoenix Lake, which is your #1 canvas that you are ordering from us. I don't know how many pre-quilted custom orders we had for this particular canvas, the Phoenix Lake. Everybody chose different linings though, I will have to say. And the lining here is our Valhalla Early Autumn. So we used the tan accent from this motif as the lining, which goes beautifully. And again, this is the navy with antique brass hardware. So that one is really, and it uses strapping. So there's 1-inch strapping inside each one of these handles here. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside. The next project that I want to show you is the SIDEKICK, and I think I spoke about this before. This is a holder specifically made for walkers or the arm of your beach chair, or as Kathy, one of our friends, Kathy, who has been helping me sew beautiful garments, she actually took this SIDEKICK and in her vehicle, and we have the same thing in our vehicle, on the passenger side, right above the glove compartment box, there's a handle. And maybe that's not on newer cars, I don't know, but I have an old truck. And this goes right over that spot. So if you're driving along, see this comes up, this is our join. This slips down on that handle, you lock it in place with the Velcro, and you have a holder that's right there in your car. Amazing. So it can be used for so many different things, I guess is the purpose of me sharing that with you. So many different things. But the SIDEKICK, this was one of the projects I didn't get done this week. I had pre-quilted fabric ready to go and I still didn't get this done. But it is such a fun project. And again, a great learning pattern as well. You have zippers that are easily attached here. This pattern and project includes mesh. So working with the mesh and the fold over elastic, in here there are 2 different compartments that don't have bottoms to them. They're simply holders, let's say for bottles of water, could be a notebook, could be anything, can go in here. As well as, that's on both sides. We have our mesh on both sides for holding whatever you'd like to hold inside a zipper compartment. And there's a handy dandy handle. So if you're taking stuff from your vehicle to your beach chair, great handle on this. And then on the back, we also have a zipper compartment for notebooks or anything that you want to keep private, as well as 2 more mesh pockets. I like the fact that they're mesh because, first of all, you can see what's in them. I think mesh is just so much easier to add than just plain cotton. It just really adds a little bit of detail to it. And then inside, well, I shouldn't say inside, here is the fold over flap. It has Velcro as well as placement. See these purple positionings here on both sides? We can put a strap through that to secure this holder onto your walker as an example. So actually I should probably show you that. The straps come, here's a strap. This has a connector on it, you see here, where we can secure and tighten this right onto the walker. One of these days I'm going to put this on my mom's walker so I can show you a picture of it. But that was my intention of making one, was to give that to her. But this then becomes your stabilizer for when it is on a walker so that it doesn't bounce around, okay? But isn't this the cutest? Sidekick. Can be used for so many different things. And the canvas that we used on this particular accessory is the Gardenese Divine Lilac as the main fabric. This binding here and all of the handle here and the coordinate here back here is Violetta, and it is the color of it's not Purple Magic, oh my goodness, Forget Me Not, I think is the colorway. And inside, this is our cotton, which is Violetta Sachet Pink. So it goes so nicely with the pink that's in the main fabric, which is Gardenese Divine Lilac. And this, let me get you some sizing on this one. This measures 11.5 inches high by 11 inches wide, and the depth of it is about 3.5 inches. So it really can hold a lot of things. And again, here is the front of that pattern. So we'll have the pattern available on our website as well as the kits. And the kits will actually be for the canvas and the cotton to start. And eventually I will, again, have everything on our website available as either cotton and cotton or canvas and cotton as your lining and coordinate. Actually, I do want to mention one thing. We did have a couple of lessons learned on these projects. I had originally created the Back At Ya backpack and Got Your Back backpack. I used canvas as the binding, and I found it to be too heavy as the binding. So when we plan our projects, the yardages might look a little different when you read the back of a pattern versus the contents of your kit. And I am going to draw that to your attention because, first of all, each one of the fabric yardage suggestions that's on these patterns is for 45-inch wide fabric. Our canvas is 57 inches. We don't want you to buy so much more fabric than you need. When I can, and when I do remember, I will include a layout of how to cut the canvas separate so that you know what we did when we made these projects with canvas, because you will have, a lot of us like to have extra fabric, but we don't want you to have such a high price point on these kits that you end up with so much extra fabric. And so we want you to know that that's how we plan these. So if the Sidekick says that it takes 3/4 of a yard of a main fabric, it's not going to take 3/4 of a yard of our canvas, because that is 12 inches more than you truly need to make this project. So just take that into consideration. And then we also don't use the canvas for the binding at all. We do recommend that you use a cotton as your binding to make it easier to sew the number of layers that you truly do need to sew when you're finishing the binding on all of these particular projects here, okay? The next project I want to share with you is called Night and Day. Night and Day, here's the front of the pattern. So it has a different pattern option or fabrics on this particular pattern cover, but it is just such a great combination. It is a purse plus a mini tote. And I love the naming of this particular pattern, Night and Day. So you have something for day, you have something for night, or whatever you want to do with it, to be honest with you. But it is two bags in one pattern. So what we did is when we planned the yardage for this one, we did plan it so that you could use one canvas, which is the Violetta in Soft Mint is the main fabric here. Look at the detail on that quilting too, it's gorgeous. And the inside of this particular tote is, and I'm going to remove the second little bag, which is so cool. But the inside cotton that was used is our Phoenix in Rainbow Sherbet is the name of that particular color, and it goes beautifully with the soft mint. I just think the coordinate is so neat. So this is simply quilted on the outside, and then our lining doesn't show as quilted, but we have one pocket inside. And the purpose of this is to simply be a basic tote. So the stitching on the outside is very different. It's just secured. The two layers are secured down the side. The bottom here is simply stitched closed. And it's meant to be reversible. So we can flip this outside the other way, and we have a completely different look. So now the inside is our canvas, and the outside is the cotton. Look at this. Look how pretty this is. So now we can tie this up here. I know you can't see this. I'm sitting too low. And we have a completely different looking tote bag. Isn't it just cute? And the outside now has our zipper. And now for the second purse in this little combo, we have hand-dyed, oh yes, the coordinate to this particular grouping. So we have the mint, soft mint canvas, the Phoenix Rainbow Sherbet as our cotton coordinate. And then we also have the lining, this is the coordinate, which is the hand-dyed cotton in soft mint. So we also have this shade. And this particular bag is also an optional crossbody bag or tote bag or purse. And we have two zippers that open up two different compartments here. See? And in the middle, there's a third little compartment. So you can hide whatever you want to hide in the middle. But we also use that same coordinate fabric here. And this is simply quilted all the way through and turned into this amazing little purse. This could also be a great cosmetic bag for traveling. Let's say that you have a cosmetic bag in here and you're going on a plane and you just want to have everything with you. It can be your tote bag. This can come out if you want to buy some snacks as you go, whatever it happens to be. I'm just making this stuff up. But then you also have your strap. It's just so versatile and so fun. And both of these bags, I will tell you, these are very basic. These are great starter projects if you've never worked on a ByAnnie bag before. So these are simply quilted, sewn together. The zippers are easy to follow in Annie's directions on adding your zippers. And your hardware, we've got some D-rings here and also your removable strap. So some really, really basic techniques that you can use and learn along the way. I'm going to set this back in here. So this is night and day. And as you can see, they're not too large, they're not too small. So they're really a very, very nice size. The size for the purse is 6.5 inches high by 10.5 inches wide by 4.5 inches deep. And the mini tote is 9 inches high. So it's really not that high, 9 inches high by 11 inches. I think it's 11 inches down at the base, 16 inches at the opening wide. And then the depth is 6 inches. So we've got 6 inches here to work with. So really fun, very fun bags. Yes, so this will take 3/4 of a yard for the purse and the mini tote. Separate, 3/4 and 3/4. Lining is 3/4 of a yard, and soft and stable is 20 by 34. So, we just always have to make sure that the canvas that we include will get you what you need for pre-quilting, the way that she has planned it on her pattern layout as well. Okay, so that is night and day. The next project is also, these are all great starter, great learning patterns. This one is called PIECEKEEPER, and it is a simple pattern. It also teaches you how to bind a flat project. It teaches you how to work with mesh, a zipper, how to install a zipper, and a little bit of quilting. So we're quilting the back piece. We have a main fabric, which here is the Violetta in the shade of Malbec, again, a canvas. And then we have our, behind the mesh here, we have Violetta in the shade of Sachet Pink, which is the cotton. So this is perfect for carrying around tools, for carrying around a project, for if you're in business and have a paperwork, or you just have so much stuff to carry around, even if it is papers or notebooks or whatever. This is a great way to carry. Just grab it and go and put it in your vehicle, take it home. Not that we do homework, but we do. But it can be used for absolutely anything. And this is called PIECEKEEPER. Okay. So it's also a very good project for leftover quilted fabric, because then all you need is your zipper and your mesh and a little bit of extra binding. Maybe you have that from another project as well. Very simple. And this measures, I want to get you the measurements on this one here. It's about 11 inches high by 16 inches wide. So it's a pretty decent size. Okay, so again, this is called PIECEKEEPER. And again, we'll have that on our website as well. The last project I want to show you is my unfinished project. It is called Divide and Conquer. And it was the most, here, let me get close so that you can see what this one is. It was the most challenging bag project that I believe that I have done so far. I really enjoy sewing these projects and challenging myself. It's really great to do that. The backpacks that I did previously were, I felt challenging simply because of the number of layers that I was sewing through. But this one has been really, really fun to work with. And I made the large one. I'm going to share with you the size, but I made the large one, and it is 11 inches high by 16 inches wide by 8.5 inches deep. This is super cool, and it is unfinished, but here's the front of it. Okay. It is, I think I can hold this up with the handles, even though it's not finished. It is for projects. It is for traveling. I think I could put probably 3 days worth of clothing, accessories, travel gear, whatever, in this bag and take it on a trip, like a weekend trip. Now I'm going to show you what's unfinished. This complete side over here is not attached. Okay. So it is a bag, as its name states, that divide and conquer. So it is a bag that has 2 separate sides to it. The front is this, okay, which has a zipper opening, which is the outside. Both sides are the same. And then the inside, there's a zipper that actually secures both sides. There's a zipper that opens up so that you can see what's inside your bag. And then inside the bag are separate holders here and here. So there's a lot of mesh involved in this. Mesh, zippers. There's two sides to this here. Okay. So we have a lot of pockets for things. And then we also have vinyl. There's vinyl in here. This was no, this wasn't the first time I worked with vinyl, but to this degree. So we have a vinyl covering with a zipper that we can put more things into. You see how deep this is? That's why it's 8 inches deep. It's 4 inches on one side and 4 inches on the other. So there's a lot of room for projects in here. And this is the side that I'm not done with. I need to put the final side onto this and then bind my outside edges, and I will be done. Okay, so that's really all I have left. This project though, you know, to kind of take it apart, sometimes I was going to video this so that you could see the complete process, but it just got to be too much. But I will use this, you know, unfinished project as a little bit of an explanation of this one as well. Each, you know, all of these bags are made in sections. And then each section is put together from the inside out. It's just really so well thought out. So the outside of the bag, and this is our Gardenese Divine Napa canvas. Okay, the zipper is actually the color of Tahiti. Again, it's a ByAnnie zipper. And then all of the hardware that I used is antique brass because I just thought that it looked so nice with the dark shade of the Napa. Inside the lining, I used our cotton, and it is Medora Flora in the shade of flax. So it's just a simple light shade. And I did quilt this just on my domestic machine. I didn't put this on the long arm. So for example, the back, there's 2 of these that you make and you set them aside. There are 2, as I showed you here earlier, 2 flaps. And these are pockets. These are inside pockets that you make, set them aside, and then you add them as you are building your bag. You create the vinyl cover with the zipper, which isn't as hard as you think. I will tell you that. The one thing that is really helping me now on each one of these bags is a product that Annie recently came out with, which I can grab back here. It is the double-sided basting tape. This double-sided basting tape is a lifesaver. It is really thin. It is about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch thin, I think, wide, I should say. And it sticks everything in its place and it holds it in its place. So when you're working on straps, when you're working on your zipper and your vinyl, when you're, whatever you happen to be attaching to something else and you just want it to stick and you don't want pinholes, such as the vinyl, you don't want any kind of a needle hole or a pinhole in there. The double-sided basting tape is a must-have, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So I guess I got off on a tangent there, but the Divide and Conquer is just really an amazing bag, and I can't wait to use it when I do travel. But you see how thick it's going to be? That's 8 inches. And you can put this under your seat. You can put this in an overhead, but it's just a great bag to use for almost anything that you need. So again, this one measures, now there's a smaller version as well. There's a small version and a large. I did make the large. The small is 9.5 inches high by 13 inches wide by 6.5 inches deep. So it's basically 2 inches in each one of those 3 dimensions smaller than this large one here. Okay, Those are the new projects on our website. And I think they're just wonderful projects for any of you who want to start working with Canvas, want to start working with the ByAnnie patterns, or add to your collection of really, really fun projects. I do have a customer question that I do need to answer. And actually it happened today, and I thought I would just jump on that particular point. I was asked today about our canvas and whether or not the canvas, I think the question was, is it good for bags and purses? And of course the answer to that is yes. And then the question was, or it wasn't really a question, it was a statement that she said, I'm assuming that this is water resistant. And I just need to clarify that our fabric, any of our fabric, is not water resistant. The canvas is not water resistant. You have to treat it for it to be water resistant. And I really did a little bit of research and found this product, and it's called Heat and Bond. It's by Heat and Bond. It's called liquid vinyl. And the purpose of this is to waterproof fabric. I have not tried it. I'm going to try it. And you can add as many layers as you want to your fabric and make it either water resistant or completely waterproof. So there are different ways to use this. And all I've done is read the back. I've read a couple of reviews on the internet and looked at a couple of YouTubes on it, but I have not worked with it myself. And I would really love to do that because I would love to have pillows, like simple decorator pillows outside or a tablecloth outside that if it just happens to rain, it's not going to hurt anything. Things like that. So there are a lot of products. And if you guys know of any product that you like to work with that makes canvas water resistant, let us know in the comments or give me a shout out and we will see what we can't do to do a little bit of education on that as well. It's great when we can all share these different things, okay? But I did want to answer that question because it was so timely. So got to do something to make it water resistant or stain resistant or whatever it happens to be that you want to do with these bags that we do carry with us outside, okay? The next and last thing that we want to share with you is we are in our summer savings and summer savings events that we have started last week. We're going to continue with it this week. So I want to share with you what we are putting on special for this next week. This week's summer savings, we're featuring our 72-inch wide Batik Cotton jersey knit. And here are the brights that are in this grouping. And this is the Violetta motif in the shade of strawberry. So it is mainly pinks and it has yellow kind of sporadically placed within this motif. The next is coral peach. The next is soft mint. This is similar to, this is actually the same shade of the bag that we showed you today too, the ByAnnie Night and Day bag, which is made with the soft mint shade. This is Phoenix in the shade of rainbow, which is every single color that you can think of. Our next three are the motif of Medora Flora. And inside the motif, each one of these have a similar shade. They are yellow, there's a rosy, strawberry rose, there's a lightish green, there's a turquoise, and they just mix very well together. This is the shade of nautical blue. This is green flash. You have a lot of green lovers out there. And then of course our purple, which is color grape. So these are the bright shades that we are featuring in our summer event. Let me show you the other shades. And for those of you who like our more neutral or fall autumnal shades, we also selected 4 amazing colors. And these are the Phoenix Tuxedo Brass. So that is a black background with tan and gold running through the motif. This is Animal Skin Charcoal, And you can see the difference here between the blacks and more of the bluish brown shades that run throughout the animal skin charcoal. I really love this fabric. And the next are both the Phoenix motif, and this is early autumn. So we have tans and browns and kind of an olivey green that flows through this motif. And then Napa, which is just one of your favorites. It's just this deep wine shade, and we have some Copen blue, some brownish gold, and mainly that wine shade, and it's just gorgeous. So both the brights and these 4 fall shades are part of our summer savings event for this next week. Those fabrics, I think, are going to be absolutely fun to work with, and it's really hard selecting just a few fabrics to share on our weekly specials, but we'll keep doing it, and we're going to keep sharing our weekly specials through the end of August. So check back every single week, and we will send a reminder every Thursday that it's the last day of the sale for those of you who get so busy throughout the week, and we all do. It is summer after all. But thank you so much for sharing our Friday, and enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend, and we will see you next week, and keep sewing, smiling, and sharing.